BWOne here from BWOne.com, and we're going to do a comparison of the DS Lite, DSi XL, and the Nintendo 3DS. So what you have in front of you here is what I like to call the DS Mafia. So this is basically three models in the entire DS family, and we're going to do sort of compare and contrast between all of them, give you a little bit of history, give you some information here, see what you may want to upgrade to, you might want to wait on the 3DS, you might want to upgrade to it depending on what your needs are, but really this is a lot of just history and information for you guys in this video. So we'll start off here with the DS Lite, which is actually the first DS I got. There was a DS before this, which was the gray one. It either came in gray, blue. It was clunky, it was big. It was cool, the games were cool and all, but it didn't really have the sleek look that the DS Lite kind of came out with. The nice size, form factor, design, everything was really nice about this. I remember when I first played this at E3 2005, and as soon as I played it, I was like, this is the DS that I was looking for and I was waiting for, and I immediately got it when it came out about a few weeks later. Has the same sort of small screens. As you can see, small screens compared to what these two have. You have the basic button layout with the D-pad over here and A, B, X, Y, start, select, and your stylus over here. But what's unique about the DS Lite, and that's one thing, it did have a brighter screen than the original DS, which was really nice, and the GBA slot, which is really big, and this is really key for a lot of people that were upgrading from a Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Advance SP. And also, this was the last of the DS family to actually include a Game Boy Advance slot. So that's pretty key here for a lot of people that had the DS Lite or people that are looking for it. Now we'll take a look at the DSi XL. Now I did have the DSi that came before this, but I actually traded in to get the much larger DSi XL, which has a very popular review on BWOne.com, which we did a review on this when it came out. Had the much larger screens you can see here. Really feel like you can kind of do a little bit of reading if you wanted with it. It was kind of made for the bigger screen real estate, bigger size, and some key games came with it as well to kind of take advantage of that. It had two cameras, had the internal camera and the external camera here for taking pictures, and certain games would take advantage of that functionality. You had the stylus, larger stylus for this system. And what was cool about the DSi series, it had sort of the matte finish, which was really nice versus the plastic. This kind of had the combination of sort of the smooth finish and sort of the plastic finish on the top here, so it was still fingerprint heavy up here, but you didn't really get many fingerprints down here. But what was disappointing about this model is that it didn't have a Game Boy Advance slot, and a lot of people figured since this was much larger, they would include that Game Boy Advance slot. Maybe the games wouldn't have looked as good on such a large screen, I don't know, but they didn't include that on this one here. So that's the DSi XL. And now, the most recently released one is the Nintendo 3DS. That includes the two cameras out here for 3D picture taking, the internal camera here which got moved up to the top. You have the two screens here. You have the larger top screen and a little bit smaller top screen. Both screens are still smaller than what the DSi XL had. And now it added an analog pad right here. It moved the directional pad here to the bottom. You still have your same button configurations, A, B, X, Y. And it put select, home, and start, which where home is a new button, and select and start are right next to it down here. And the power button was moved here to the side, similar to where it was here on the DSi XL. And on the actually on the DS, it was right here. DS Lite, it was actually just a little switch here on the side there. But pretty much in terms of size, it's pretty much the same size as the DS Lite here. It may look a little bit thicker, it's just a little bit more blocky shaped, but doing a size comparison here, you can see they're pretty much exactly the same size as you see here. And it kept the SD card, which originally was introduced in DS Lite. It kept that in here. They pretty much, whatever they upgraded to, they kind of kept it in here, and they've added a few things to it. So they've kind of always evolved from whatever the previous DS was. Still no GBA slot, but obvious reasons. We've gone past that at this point in time. So you can see here, and they're both still smaller. Do another size comparison. You can see here they're both still way smaller than the DSi XL. There, and the software also evolved too. So we'll actually turn all of them on. We'll start here with the DS Lite. Hopefully you guys can see there. It might be a little too bright. Turn it on there. You really had sort of a basic firmware in this particular software here. Nothing really fancy. You just kind of put your game in. You clicked on the game and it started. Had a clock. You had the calendar here. You had PictoChat, DS Download, Play. But that was pretty much it. And then we move here to the DSi XL, or the DSi in general. They both had the same software. And this is where you kind of saw the menu system evolve into more of a real UI. As you can see here, it kind of took the Nintendo Wii sort of philosophy and kind of added it onto here. So you got a much more advanced menu for games, and it supported not only download play, but it had a shop as well too, that you can buy DSi games right from the shop and download directly to the device. And you had the camera functionality here at the top too, so that's the software in there. And the software on the Nintendo 3DS has evolved even greater and become really a true UI experience on the device. And this UI experience you can experience in 2D or 3D here. It's kind of kept sort of the same menu sound. We'll pull the stylus out here, which the 3DS has a metal stylus now instead of plastic, and it attracts tracks like that. You can see here, you can't see the 3D, but it does have a 3D menu here on the top. And then if we kind of go through here, it kind of kept the same idea of what they had in the past with the DSi XL, but they've kind of added some sounds, fancy animation, stuff like that. With the more powerful hardware here, they could take advantage of those things. And it's just a much more full-featured menu UI. You can download games. So I believe when the shop opens up, you're going to be able to download 3DS games. I think you're going to be able to download Game Boy Advance games and stuff like that on here too. So that is a comparison right there. So on the software side of things, but overall, what matters here really is the gaming, and obviously the Nintendo 3DS has the 3D gaming and much more powerful gaming graphics than the two of these systems have. So really depends on what your personal preference is there for that. If you have a lot of Nintendo DS games, you'll be able to play them on here as well too. And if you have 3DS games, you're only going to be able to play it on here. If you have Nintendo DS games and a lot of Game Boy Advance games, you're going to want to see if you can find yourself a DS Lite to take advantage of the GBA slot. If you're looking for a larger screen real estate and you want the games in really a nice big screen, the DSi XL is definitely the one for that. But either way, you really can't go wrong with any of these here. This is obviously the future with the much more powerful graphics and the 3D gaming inside of it here too. We gotta wait to see how well the games are gonna be. We already have a lot of good games coming now, and a lot more good games coming out really soon. So that's it right there. I just wanted to give you guys sort of a informational tour, sort of a history tour of all the DSs in the DS family. As you can see here, I have 3 of them here, and you can get some more information so you can really figure out which one that you really want to pick up. If you're ready to upgrade, if you're willing to wait, maybe you just want to go from here to here, or you want to jump from here to here, or you might want to downsize from here down to here because you got those GBA games you want to play. Whatever your decision is, now you have a little more information for it. So this is BWOne here from BWOne.com. Reminding you, subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on Twitter, become a fan on our Facebook fan page, and check the link in the description. I'll have some information there at BWOne.com as well, some pictures and stuff like that for some size comparisons so you guys can get a good idea of that too. And always remember to live your tech world in high definition.